What's going on, everybody? Spaceballs here. Welcome back to our Nier reincarnation video. Alright, everyone, today we're going to talk about free Argo. I took the bullet for you guys and invested everything I possibly could into maxing him out. I also maxed out his weapon. I didn't really want to. Looking at his weapon, it doesn't look that great, but I did want to get the full feel of Argo with his main-handed weapon. I did the same thing with free Theo, so I wanted to give Argo the same fair shake. Now, I didn't completely max him out. I went up as high as I could without using any rare resources. So I brought him up to level 12 and level 13. I didn't want to go past that because I don't like to waste weapon insignias or skill insignias unless I know I'm going to use that character long term. Like free Theo now, I fully invested in her, but I use her in almost all the content that I'm clearing in the game. I don't think that's going to be the same case for Argo. So I didn't want to go that far, but I did want to get a good test out of him. So let's review Argo, the build I have on him, and then we'll throw him into some content and see how he does. By no means is this an endgame build. I didn't want to put my best memories on him. I wanted to go more for a mid-tier account build or a new account build because the most people that are going to use Argo are probably going to be new to the game or free to play, and they're not going to have crazy memory sets. I didn't want to go crazy and give him 85% crit rate. I wanted to go with an early game build. So I stacked as much crit rate, crit damage, and attack as I possibly could without using my best memories. Basically using my first set of memories that I got when I first started playing Nier. And we were able to get him at 41% crit rate, 214% crit damage, and his attack is a little bit low, but Argo is a tanky bruiser. He's meant to take damage and dish the damage out. If I were to use him long term, of course, I would put him in a better setup, but for now, I think we can get good testing numbers out of this. The thing is, if he hits with a critical hit, the numbers are going to be the same, whether he has 40% crit damage or 80% crit damage. So when we do the runs, we'll watch for his critical hits, not his weak hits or his resist hits. We'll look and see which ones are critting, and those will be the same numbers, whether he has 100% crit rate or 40% crit rate. As long as he crits, the numbers will be the same. So talking about his build, I was going to go with an HP set and then all attack primaries. I decided to go with a crit damage set, probably because I just farmed a ton of crit damage sets. At first, I was going to build him like a tanky bruiser, but the content I'm going to use him in, I just want him doing as much damage as possible. So I decided to go with 3 attack primaries, actually 2 attack primaries, and 1 crit rate primary to get that crit rate at least up to 40%. So all the memories will be the same. They'll basically have crit rate, crit damage, attack, HP on them, and then we'll have the critical damage set bonus. And this one's going to be a crit rate primary, and then we also have crit rate. We don't have crit damage on this one, but we have HP, attack, and defense. And then on the last one, we have attack primary, attack, crit damage, crit rate, and HP. This memory is actually perfect for Argo. If you can get every single rune to look like this, your Argo will be hitting like a champ. So nothing crazy, just enough to see how my man Argo does in action. For the companion, I just left the same one I had on Theo. And then for his primary, of course, we used his spear. Secondary, we have Noel's spear, and then we have just some spear that I had in my storage. So let's go over his skills and abilities and see what this man does. So for the main skill, we have Icicle Smash, and this is going to deal 222% damage times 2, and this is going to deal an extra 68% damage. We're only at level 12, this goes up to level 15. I know the way it's worded, it can be a little bit confusing, but literally all this means is if Argo's holding a debuff, he will do 68% more damage. If he's maxed out, it'll be higher. That's all it means. I was really confused by this when I first read it, but I did a lot of research, and it's just, if he has a debuff, he'll do more damage. That simple. So with that multiplier, you would think my man Argo would be dishing out some big numbers. Let's hope that he does. For the first ability, we have Bold Vigor, and this is going to be damage up by 30% when HP is above 70%, just like 2B. And then for the last ability, we have Regular Vigor, and this is always going to be attack up by 20%. Looking at his skills, Argo is a DPS or a tanky bruiser DPS. And that's why I chose to rune him this way. So that's his build, that's his kit, that's what I have on him. Let's look at his weapon and see what that does as well. Now, out of everything I invested in Argo, this is my biggest regret. I wish I could take this back. Literally, after I maxed it out, I was kicking myself in the butt, wishing I didn't do it. But I'm glad I did it this way. I can share with you guys, and you guys don't have to make the investment. I can do it for you. So let's go over the skills and abilities and see what this puppy does. We have Queen's Bold Vigor times 4, and this is going to be deal 76% damage times 4. Damage increases by 18% when HP is over 80%. So just like Vigor on Argo the character, this is basically doing the exact same thing, just a lower number. And this is at level 13. We can bring this up to 15. For the second one, we have Queen's Angus, and this is going to be 52% damage times 2. It increases defense by 8% for 10 seconds. We don't really care about that. We're just trying to get Argo to do as much damage as possible. And then on the first ability, just like the main skill, we have Vigor, but this is Bold Vigor. And this is going to be damage up by 12.8% when HP is above 70%. So synergizing with the rest of Argo's skills and abilities. And then for the last one, we have defense up by 7.8%. If this defense was something else, I think Argo would be a lot better. I don't really want to see up defense on Argo, to be honest. I want Argo to do as much damage as possible. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've done a lot of testing with Argo, and I'm a little underwhelmed with the numbers that Argo puts out. From what I'm hearing and seeing, Emil does 3 times more damage than Argo. Yes, his multiplier is doubled what Argo is, but you would think Argo would be somewhere in that mix. The thing is, if you're going to use Argo, you're most likely going to use him for another DPS. So if he's not putting out close to that DPS's numbers, why would you even take that DPS unit out of your team for Argo? Now, in some situations, like the new Abyss Tower, he's going to be excellent for that because you're going to need an Argo costume and he's going to fit that role perfectly because it's going to save you from having to bring up another Argo, maybe a 2 or 3 star Argo if you don't have a 4-star one, and you'll be able to use a maxed Argo with his maxed weapon. Now, the one thing I would definitely recommend, guys, is not maxing out his spear and using a different spear. I'm sure if you look through your storage, you will be able to find a better spear, a dark or a light one, that will give you much better results than this one will. For example, I have a dark one in my storage that does 3-turn blind, and I would have much rather have put that on him than put this one. But for testing purposes, I did want to see how he did with his water spear. I know I haven't done anything in Abyss Tower yet, but look for the video. It's coming soon. I'm going to try to do as much of this on video as I possibly can to help you guys out, because I know a lot of you guys are having trouble with it. So I'm going to try to come up with some free-to-play teams and see what I can do as far as Abyss Tower goes. So for today, we're going to be using Argo in the Dynasty Memory Dungeon. This is the first place I used Free Theo, and she did great in this. When I first got Free Theo, she allowed me to clear Stage 10 on the Dynasty Rune Dungeon. Same thing with the officers. I wasn't able to clear Stage 10, but then the second I used Free Theo, I was able to start clearing it. So my goal here was to see if Argo can take Free Theo's place. So for the people that missed out on Theo, they can basically put Argo in Theo's place. So what we're going to do is 2 runs on floor 10 and then 1 run on floor 8 to see what he looks like when he has element advantage. The one thing to keep in mind is when we do floor 8, the enemies will have lower defense, so Argo will generally do more damage. Our whole team will do more damage just because the enemy will have lower defense, so that is something to keep in mind. But I do want to see what it looks like when he does have element advantage. I'm going to let this run twice because the runs are really short, and then I'm going to let it run on stage 8, and then I'll be back and we will talk about it. Pay attention to Argo and A2's numbers. Now the thing is, in this case, A2 is going to have element advantage, so her numbers are going to be significantly higher than Argo's. But we're not really going to be paying attention too much to A2. We really just want to see the kind of damage that Argo is putting out. Because again, if Argo's not putting up enough damage, we could just easily replace him with something else. There's no reason to put him in the team unless we don't have a better option. And the whole point of this video is that we get Argo for free, completely maxed. So we want to try to get use out of him for people that don't maybe have stuff built or they don't have better options. So you can use Argo until you get something better, and then you can switch Argo out for that better unit. But we want to see if Argo is good enough to even hold the spot on the team until that time comes. So real quick, we're going with 2P and A2. Now don't get me wrong, A2 and 2P are going to carry this entire run. But again, we just want to see the numbers that Argo is going to put out. So Argo's in slot 2. Let's see what kind of damage this man can do. I'll be right back and then we'll talk about it.
Think you can stop me? Ha!
Enemy reinforcements confirmed. Eliminating.
More of you come to die?
Commencing mission.
More of you come to die?
Need some fighting spirit.
Enemy reinforcements confirmed. Eliminating.
Don't expect any thanks.
Think you can stop me? Ha!
More of you come to die?
My thanks.
Ho ho!
I'll grind them into dust.
Your numbers don't mean squat.
We've got this.
So that's my man Argo. To be honest, guys, I'm a little disappointed. I would think that Argo would be putting up much bigger numbers. And just to show you guys, because I know you're probably looking at A2 and thinking, oh, well, your A2 is ruined a lot better. She honestly isn't. She has less crit rate than Argo does. I did that on purpose. I didn't want to build A2 better than Argo. I kind of wanted to keep them in the middle playing field. So if we take a look at A2, yes, her attack is a lot higher. But it felt like it was much easier for me to stack attack on A2 than it is for me to stack attack on Argo. And I do have a broken set on A2. It's not even like I have a full attack set on her. And I still was able to get her attack much higher than I did Argo's. Now I could turn around and just stack attack on Argo, but I figured stacking crit damage would be basically the same thing. When we see a critical hit and he has more crit damage, he's obviously going to do more damage on a critical hit. And then A2 is just going to do more damage overall when she's not critting. That would be the only difference. The critical hits would still be exactly the same. When you hit with a critical hit, it's just going to go off the critical damage. When they're not hitting with critical hits, it's just going to go off the attack power. So I wasn't really focusing on his main hits. I was just focusing on his critical hits. And then even with that, they were very underwhelming. I literally used the same exact team with Free Fio. All I did was take Free Fio out of the team and put Argo in her place. The thing is, Free Fio, I'm able to use in all content, arena content. Argo will be completely useless to you guys in arena content. He will have no use for you there, so don't even try to bring him into arena. He just won't get the job done. Free Fio, she's not a great arena character, but I bring her into arena matches all the time, and she does great. I'm not trying to rub it in too much if you don't have Free Fio, but she really is the better character. The next character review I do will be on Fio, and let me know in the comments who you guys want to see after that. But if you don't have Free Fio, you can definitely slip Argo into some content. Like you saw, we were clearing Stage 10 Dynasties, no problem. I don't think Argo is going to really be able to go much further than that. Once you start getting into the harder memory dungeons, I don't think he's really going to survive. The big issue is when he's not hitting with an ability or a main skill, he's literally hitting one time like a wet noodle. He's literally doing no damage, just this single hit. And then you watch 2P and A2 go in there and they literally shred the enemy alive, even when they're not hitting with their ability or main skill. It's just a completely different showing. And the biggest problem for me with Argo truly is the stipulation of him needing a debuff on his main skill. The fact that he's only going to use this main skill probably twice per battle, and then you have to get a debuff on you to take advantage of this extra 68% damage. Just doesn't seem right. Now, maybe if they can change this in the future and buff him, I don't think they ever will because he's free. But if they switch this from a debuff to a buff, this would be a lot better because at least we can control it. Right now, we have no control over this. And in Nier, we know we don't want to take debuffs. We're not trying to take damage. We're trying to do as much damage to the enemy as possible. Get the match over. We're not trying to let the enemy hit us, put debuffs on us just to get 68 to 75% extra damage. It's just not worth it. So with that being the case, we're never going to get use out of this extra damage. It's basically useless. So we have to look at it as Argo is going to be hitting for 222% damage. I think when it's maxed out, it's 250% damage. That's the only damage we're going to be getting out of Argo. Now his main skill does do nice damage, but like I said, you're only going to use that main skill probably twice per battle. But outside of his main skill, the rest of his skills are just underwhelming. It kills me to say it because I invested so much into Argo, but they're just underwhelming. They're not good enough. Now don't get me wrong, if you're just coming to the game, you could definitely get use out of Argo. At least you'll be able to farm stage 10 of Dynasty's memory dungeon, and you'll be able to farm your 4-star attack memories. And I'm sure you can get him into some other content if you build a team around him. The thing with Argo is he's going to be super niche, and unless you're focusing on Argo and making him your main character, which you probably don't want to do, he's not really going to shine the way he should. Now, in the Abyss Tower, he's going to be excellent for those costumes where you need Argo, because having a level 90 Argo as opposed to a level 70 Argo is going to be a huge thing. But Argo overall, if I had to rate him from 1 to 10, I would definitely put him at like a 4. And if I had to rate Theo 1 to 10, I'd put her at a 7. So that just shows you the difference. He's not unusable. At the end of the day, he's a free character. He's maxed. I just wouldn't recommend investing any rare resources into him. And I definitely wouldn't recommend investing in his weapon. If you do build Argo and you decide to use him, invest in something else. Don't use his primary weapon. Build a light or dark spear. And just to show you guys an example of what I'm talking about, look through your storage, see if you have some type of better spear to put on him. And I'm sure most of you guys do, because a lot of us pull these spears and fighter weapons when we're doing our summons, chasing the characters that we want. And it's actually really good 3-star spears as well, especially the ones from the pure dark weapons. But I would just recommend you looking through your storage and picking something else and not going with Argo's main-handed water spear. Just leave that out. Investing in Argo is not a bad thing, but investing in his spear is. Overall, I'm not mad about investing in Argo, just the spear. But I want to know what you guys think. Are you using Argo? Did you invest in him? Do you regret it? What content are you using him in? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, so comment down below and let me know what you're thinking. Thank you guys so much for the support here on YouTube. We are so close to 4,000 subs. Once we reach it, we will start another sub celebration. If you want to follow me on Twitch and Discord, those are always linked down below. We do 2 monthly giveaways on Discord, random giveaways on Twitch. If you want to be a part of the random giveaway that we do here on YouTube, all you have to do is sub to the channel, like and comment on my past 10 videos, and that will automatically enter you into the random giveaway. I pick those winners on Discord. I truly do love each and every single one of you. I will see you in the next one. Spaceballs out. Peace.